Hey, did you hear about the poor school teacher that was fired just because she was cross-eyed? Yeah, they said she couldn't control her pupils.
Hello. Today we're going to be talking about some CAD techniques that I find to be very important if you have a design team that's working with designers from different firms, certainly from different disciplines. They all have to be able to get along together, use their files with one another. Their CAD files need to be shared with each other so that they can be effective as a team. Now, these CAD techniques can be found on my website. If you go to www.ecadlight.com and go to Free Design Tools, here at the bottom of the page, you're going to find a document that's entitled Working Together as a Team with CAD. Now, in this, I'm going to outline quite a few different techniques that I find are important for a design team to share if they're going to be able to have their CAD files used by one another and extract without any problems. Now, there's quite a few listed in here, but we're only going to be concentrating on 4 of them. Specifically, we're going to show why color by layer is imperative to make your files usable and easily extract by others on a design team. We're also going to see the effect of having an illogical 000 location in your drawing is going to have on others in your design team when they try to extract your file. We're going to demonstrate the kind of frustration that others in your design team will experience if you put informational elements such as callouts, tags, or dimensions on the same layer as the objects that they're associated with. And finally, we're going to show how difficult it is on others on your design team if you place objects in your drawing on the 0 layer. So let's get started. I have here 2 DWG databases. Let's open them up. One is called CBL, one is called CBO. We're going to open these up with AutoCAD Lite. Now, I don't know what your opinion is of AutoCAD Lite, but we're going to show that you can do some amazing things with AutoCAD Lite when it comes to designing construction documents. It's a very suitable program, highly robust for anything that you need to do two-dimensional drawing to make construction documents. So I have them both open here. Here is the CBL. Now I'm going to flip over. This is the CBO. You can hardly see any difference, can you? That's a CBL. That's a CBO. They look identical. Now let's plot both. This is the CBO, so I'm going to plot this using the built-in PDF plotter that's right inside of AutoCAD and AutoCAD Lite. Okay, I'm going to close that CBO drawing. Here's the CBL. Same thing, I'm going to plot this drawing. And now that both drawings are plotted, I'm going to close those. So here are the 2 PDFs. Let's open them. This is the CBO. This is the CBL. CBO, CBL. They look identical, don't they? Their line weights are the same. And here I've happened to plot both of them out. Here's the CBL. And here's the CBO. Now both of these look fine. They have nice line weights, and their designers look at their stuff after they plotted it and they say, ah, my Kung Fu is wonderful. But is it? The fact is that you can take the CBL drawing and you can send it to anybody, anywhere in the world. They can use it, extract it, manipulate it. No troubles. Won't have any trouble with it at all. The CBO, while it looks identical and plots identical, is practically worthless. Let's find out why. So let's go back to AutoCAD, and I'm going to start a new drawing. Let's say that I'm an electrical subconsultant, and I've just received these files, and I need to put together an electrical plan for them. And specifically, I'm going to try to get them to design development level as quickly as I possibly can. So having opened up a blank drawing, I'm going to be using my eCADlt software, but this would be very applicable with any other CAD system that you might happen to have, as long as it's a DWG type. So I'm going to get rid of that, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to name it XREF CBL. I'm also going to insert all my electrical layers. I'm going to set the drawing scale to be 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to XREF the CBL drawing. And I'm going to put no path. I'm going to not scale it. I'm going to insert it at the 000 point. I'm going to have an overlay. We're going to have another video that explains why those are all good choices. So let's zoom to extents here, and we see that I've got the XREF in, and now I'm going to move it to that layer called XREF CBL. That way anybody working on this drawing clicks on it and they see that it's an XREF CBL. No problems that way. I think I'm also going to insert a title block. I'm going to use an 11 by 17. Let me get it somewhat centered here into the middle of the drawing. Very good. Okay. I'm now ready to start working on this, but there are some things I need to do as an electrical designer to be able to get it done. Now the first thing that I want to do is I want to take all the layers that are in that XREF and I'm going to change them to color 84. I happen to know that color 84 in my pin table is going to give a line weight that's screened and light, because I want all of the elements in the drawing to be muted light compared to my electrical work. That way the electrician, when he sees it, all of his stuff will be dark. So now that I've done that, I need to get rid of some things that I don't want to have on my drawing. I don't want these dimensions. I don't want these wall tags. I don't want these door tags. I do want these room names. However, I don't necessarily want them in the background, because they could be exactly where I need to place receptacles, lights, or circuiting. So I want those, but I don't want them in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that CBL, and I'm going to select each one. I could use a quick select too, but since there's only 4 of them, I'm going to copy with base point and use 000 as my base point. Coming back to my drawing, I can now paste these in at the 000 point, and they're right where the other ones are. But now I can move them. So now that I have these, I will freeze the ones in the background. That way these won't be in my way. I can move them around. Okay, so I'm ready to start designing. How quickly can I work with this? I'm going to put some receptacles into this office. I'm going to put a quad over by the desk, a data jack. Whenever I put power and data near a desk, I put the power closest to the individual working there, because I figure once they have something plugged in, they're going to need to move things around. However, the data, they'll probably leave the same thing plugged in there all the time. So I'm going to put the data farther away from them at the desk. I'm also going to put a receptacle over here further in the room, because they might want to reconfigure things or have a printer over there. And I also want to have a receptacle out here so that if they have somebody sitting in here, they have something available that they can plug into. Let's see, let's go ahead, and I don't want to put this back to back with that one, so I'm going to offset it a little bit. And let's put another one here, and let's put a combination floor receptacle and data jack underneath of the conference table. You know, I'm thinking that they might want to do some video conferencing. So why don't we put a receptacle and a data jack high on this wall. We'll also put one down low. So both of these we're going to put at, let's say, 72 inches. And same thing here, we'll go plus 72 inches. Okay, here inside of the restroom, I'm going to put a receptacle to the right of the sink, and we're going to place it about 8 to 10 inches above the countertop. I'd have to check the architectural to find out how high that's going to be. For right now, I'm going to go 42 inches and make it a GFI. Let's get some lighting in here. We're not going to do anything too fancy. I'm just going to put a 2x4 fixture here. We'll call it number 1. I'm going to move it from the center there, and that will center it in the room. Let's see, I'm going to copy that same thing and put it in the center of this room as well. I think I'll probably be able to get enough light for those small offices. Let's see, here in the restroom, I'm going to put a small 2-foot light above here. We'll call that fixture number 2. Get my receptacle away from there a little bit so that it's not on top of the light. And I believe I'm going to put another light right in the center of the ceiling. We'll call that number 3. Here above the conference table, I think I'm going to put a long 8-foot fixture. We'll call it number 4. It'll probably be an LED indirect light. And I will center it right above the table. Okay, now I think I need some cans around here, especially if this is going to be used for video conferencing. So I'm going to move to the 0 layer, and I'm going to draw a line here and bisect that line so that I can have something exactly between the edge of the table and the wall. I'm going to put 5 light fixtures there, so if I want 5 light fixtures, I'm going to divide this into 10 spots. We'll explain why in another video. So now I'm going to delete every other one of those, and I'm ready to put in can light here. We'll call this number 5. So now that I have that, I'm going to copy that to each one of the remaining points that I have there. I can now delete those. I'm going to mirror these to the other side of the room, as a matter of fact. And I'm thinking I may want to have one right in the center on each side. So I'm going to copy that from there and get it to midpoint between there and there. And then another one midpoint between there and there. Okay. Let's see, I think we're not going to do anything fancy with controls. We're just going to have typical toggle switches here. I think we will put an occupancy sensor, though, inside that restroom. So we'll put a wall occupancy sensor switch right there. Now here in the conference room, I'm going to want these LEDs to all be dimmable. I'm going to assume a 400 watt dimmer will be able to do that. And it looks like I'm pretty close to being able to circuit. I think I need a panel here. I'm going to put a load center in this wall right there. We'll call this load center MP. And we'll put a meter on the outside. I think I need some exterior lighting here, so I'll put one in the center right here. We'll call that fixture number 6. We'll need another one out front. I'm going to rotate that attribute there around straight. And then let's also put a light on this side. We'll call that 6. Rotate that. We won't bother on the back side for right now. Okay, so I'm pretty good shape here. I'm ready to start circuiting. Let's not do a lot of circuiting, but just to show that we can get to that point. I'm going to have another video to show the best ways to do your circuiting so that the circuiting comes out looking nice, looking even, looking attractive. So that we're getting a similar radius on all of the circuitry here. You'll be able to check my YouTube video channel to find a video on doing circuiting. Let's see. All of the can lights can certainly go together. Now that I have one drawn, I'll just move it to each one of the other ones because I know that they're all placed evenly. Similar down the side. Now that I have one, I'll just move it to the others. I think I'll mirror that to get it away from the switches there. And let's see, my attribute is in the way, so I'm gonna believe I'll move that down to the side here. Okay. Well, there's a lot more to do. I still need to do a lot of notes. I need to do the home runs. So there's quite a bit to be done. Nevertheless, for a design development set, I'm already showing where everything is for the most part. I don't have the HVAC in yet, so I don't have the condensing unit, the air handler, whatever else that they're going to use. Perhaps it'll be an RTU. I don't have any home runs in, but I've got a good start on it. And how long did that take? Just a few minutes. Now, that was using the CBL, and as you can see, everything worked very easily on it. We can go in here, and now I'm going to set this to a 1/4 of an inch scale. Let's see what this would look like if we plotted it. Now you see the background is all in a screened line weight. All of the electrical is nice and heavy dark. That's exactly what an electrician would expect to see when he pulls open an electrical drawing. So that looks good. So that was the CBL drawing. Easy to work with. I was able to quickly reach a design development state without any trouble whatsoever. Let's close that. Now let's do the exact same thing. Well, but first, let's take a look at the CBL. And when I select everything, you notice right here, it is set to color control, color by layer. And that's one of the reasons that was so easy to work with. Now let's do it again, or at least we're going to try to. I'm going to open up a blank drawing. I'll basically do all of the same things. I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to call it XREF CBO. I'm going to insert my electrical layers. I'm going to set my scale to be a 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to XREF the drawing CBO. Same thing, no path, no scale, inserted at 000, overlay. Where is it? If I draw a line from the 0, point and zoom to extents, you'll see the drawing is well off from the 0. Here it is down here, and it's been placed, drawn out in space somewhere. So that particular designer didn't use a 0 point, so when I XREF'd it in, it came in, 50, 60 feet away, but it could have been 50, 60 miles away. But nevertheless, it works, right? I can still work with it, even though it's not at the 0 point. When I select it, I see that its insertion point is down there at 0, but it itself is off in space. But not a big deal, right? Okay, let's continue on, and let's put in our title block. There we go. Now, just like before, I'm going to select this, move it over to the layer I made for it so that when someone selects it, they see that that's an XREF CBO. Now, just like before, one of the first things I want to do is change all of my XREF layers to color 84 so that they will display correctly. But what happened? Only a few elements changed. The room names changed, so did the doors, so did the chairs, but not the walls, not the dimensioning, not the furniture, not the plumbing. They didn't change. Well, what would this look like if I tried to plot it? Let's scale this to 1/4 of an inch and take a look at what it would appear to be. You see all the walls, furniture, dimensioning, plumbing, furniture, so on like that. It all came out very heavy line weight. That's the kind of line weight that the architect wanted to have. But as an electrical designer, that's not the kind of line weight that I want to have. I need to have it very, very light screened line weight like this chair is. If I have everything dark like that, you won't be able to distinguish my electrical design from the background. So that's not going to be good. But nevertheless, let's keep trying to work with this. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to freeze these wall tags. But guess what? I freeze a wall tag and the walls freeze too. Now why is that? Let's go take a look. Let's open up the CBO and click on one of those wall tags, and we see that the wall tag is set to white color, but it's on the wall layer. Right there, it's on the G Walls New layer. That's the same layer as the wall itself. So I can't change that. I can't freeze that tag without freezing the walls too. Let's go back to our XREF drawing here. So I'm not able to freeze that because, again, if I do, there go all the walls as well. Okay, what about these door tags? I'm going to try and freeze that. Guess what? The door tags are on the same layer as the doors. Let's look here on our original drawing. If I click on the door tag, yes, it's on the doors new layer. Same layer as the door itself. So I can't freeze one without freezing the other. So I'm going to have to, for now, leave those on. I'm going to have to go into that background and get rid of those door tags one by one just by deleting them. What about these other items? What about the dimensioning? Let me freeze that. Uh-oh. I can't. I can't freeze the dimensioning. Why not? Let's go back and look. If I click on the dimensioning, it's on the 0 layer. And I can't freeze the 0 layer over on my drawing and make it go away. So I can't get rid of those at all. So here I am. I can't get rid of the dimensioning. I can't get rid of the wall tags. I can't get rid of the door tags. And none of these other things change colors like the walls didn't change color. Let me go back and look. It's on a wall layer, but it's set to cyan. It's not set to color by layer. And because of that, just because I change the layer over here, the layer's color, I don't change the element because it is set to a specific color. So I really can't hardly do anything with this. Now what about this plumbing down here? It didn't change either, but when I select it, it says it's color by layer. So what's wrong with it? Let's take a look. If I explode this block, I see that it is composed of 0 layer component. That's good, but it's set to color 12. It's not set to color by layer within the block. So even though these items are set to color by layer, the blocks are not. So again, I can't use it. I can't change it over here. I've moved this layer to be color 84, but it didn't change. So now if I even attempted to make my design onto this sort of a drawing, let's just do a few things here. We'll see how bad it comes out. We'll just do this one room. And I'll circuit some of this together. Okay, what would this look like if I went to plot it? As we can see, the walls, the furniture, the dimensioning are basically the same line weight as all of my electrical design. So this isn't going to be good because the circuiting, once the electrician is looking at that on a blueprint, he'll have difficulty differentiating the circuitry from, let's say, a wall or something else. So that's just not going to work. What we need to have everything shaded except the electrical work in order for this to look correct. I won't be able to work with this at all. This individual, I'm going to have to go back into this background file and I'm going to have to delete things, change them, or work with them extensively to get them all to be color by layer. Now that won't be easy. Even if I selected everything and made it color by layer, well, that might help some, but these blocks that are made out of elements that are set to a specific color, I'm not going to be able to work with that. I'm going to have to pull open each one of those blocks and get them all changed to color by layer or something else. So as you can see, a great deal of work is ahead of me just to be able to get off the ground. The color by layer drawing, I was able to have it to design development in just a few minutes. This is like hand-to-hand combat. So we can see what sort of things we ran into. We had to deal with color by layer. We had to deal with the fact that it wasn't set logical 000 point at a corner of the building or someplace. We also had informational tags on the same layers as the elements that they are associated with. So I couldn't freeze one without freezing the other. And we also had dimensioning on the 0 layer, meaning I couldn't get rid of it at all. I'd have to go in and move it to a different layer or delete it. So you can see there's quite a bit of work that is remaining to be done. So I hope this has helped you to see how important it is to share some of these drafting techniques. If you're going to be working with a group of designers from different firms, they all have different pins, they have different pin tables, they have different things they need to accomplish. They need to be able to work with your drawings, and they're not going to be able to do that unless you have it color by layer. Thank you for watching. I hope that you do subscribe to my channel and be able to catch some more of my informational videos that I have about very interesting drafting techniques. Thank you.